Hey, what's up, guys? Back for another video, random video. So, last time, well, a few times ago when I was talking to you guys, I had mentioned that I was going back to school and how if there's something that you want to do that requires schooling, and something you're really passionate about, you should definitely go for it, for sure. Because, well, would you rather work a job the rest of your life that you hate and you just constantly wish that you, did something else, or do you want to just dive into what you want to do? And so I'm going to school for occupational therapy. It's something that somebody brought up to me. They were just telling me about what they do, and it seems like a super interesting field. It's very similar to physical therapy, but it's a little bit more fine motor skills, and they pair up with physical therapists, but occupational therapists really get people who have maybe been through some traumatic situation, maybe a car accident or something, and they help them rehabilitate so that they can go home again and be normal, or back to what normal is going to be for that person. So it really interested me because you get to help people, and I think a lot of basic jobs, whether it's retail, whether it's fast food, restaurant, whatever it is, it's just a different vibe. Like, you are kind of helping people because you're you're feeding them, or you're offering some sort of customer service or what have you. But for me, it's not really fulfilling. So, anyways, the reason I'm doing this video is because I've really been thinking about it, and I really enjoy the schooling that I'm doing for OT. So far, I'm just doing some prereq biology classes, and it's really fascinating stuff, which isn't even the tip of the iceberg. But I've talked to a few people over the last couple weeks, some older folks who have some pretty extensive knowledge just with finances and investing and stuff like that, and it's made me really think. Second guess on the OT career path. Not because I'm not interested in it, but because the schooling is really extensive. It's expensive, not extensive. I'm totally fine, if it's like a master's degree or whatever. If it's something that you're interested in, then you're gonna pay off, right? But I was thinking about how much debt I'm going to be in, and it's roughly $100,000 in debt. And I've kind of changed my way of thinking into, if I could just minimize and completely squash my debts, whether it's starting to pay off my house that I just got, paying off my current student loans that I have, any credit cards that I may have. My goal at this point, for what I'm thinking, is to pay off all my debts. And in that sense, it's so two things. If I pay off my debts, then I'm already going to have more money. I'm essentially going to be making more money than I'm making now, because a good chunk of my money isn't going to be going towards paying off these debts anymore. So that's one thing. I mean, if I would just wipe out the payment on my house, wipe out the little bit of credit card debt that I currently have due to paying for school, then I would actually be making more money. So that's not to say that I'm looking to quit school and just do my current job that I'm in and stay in that forever. But I more or less am looking at other options. One of the other options that I'm looking at, and it seems like kind of one of those things that you're either doing it or you're not, but I've always, don't laugh, I've always had a fascination with hair. I've always been interested in hair. Since I was a young kid, I didn't care about how I dress. I didn't care if my colors matched, because I am colorblind. But I always cared about what my hair looked like. So I'm basically looking into going to barber school. Now, I know what you're probably thinking is, well, you're still going to school. You're still going to incur some debt. I am. That is very true. However, it's the difference between $100,000 or $8,000. And I believe $8,000 sounds a little bit more appealing. Now, I'm not making this decision because solely on the money, but it is a huge factor, because theoretically, if I go $100,000 in debt, yes, this career I'm gonna make more money as an occupational therapist, right? It's more of a guaranteed money. I think the average is like 80,000 and up. However, thinking in a more humble sense, I would say between 50 and 60 is what I would possibly make coming out of school. Now, then when you take into consideration how much my college loans are going to be per month, I estimated that it's going to be around $750 to $800, depending on the interest rate, of course. That's a lot of money. That's basically what my mortgage is. So I could go to school. I would come out making more money than I'm making now. However, I'll be making the same, if not less money, because of my student loans that I'll be paying on the next 10 years. Not to mention, I purchased my house for cheaper than my student loans are going to be. And that kind of scares me a little bit, because I think it's a common reoccurrence that people my age and even younger are going to school. They're getting these degrees that are costing them a ton of money, and they're not necessarily being able to get placement in their job career after that. Which is, I think it's one of two things. One, if you don't look into how saturated or unsaturated the job market is for what you're going into, I think that's also an issue. Like, you have to see if the career you're going for is actually, if it's just oversaturated or not. And the good thing is occupational therapy is not oversaturated. There's actually, they estimate by in the next like 4 or 5 years that they're gonna need another 20,000 OTs. So it's not a bad career path as far as me getting out and being able to graduate and actually get into the field. But just thinking about how much debt I'm going to be in, that kind of scares me a little bit. And then I start thinking, is this going to be a career that I'm going to be always passionate about, or is this just like a quick flash in the pan thing that, yeah, I enjoy helping people, so maybe this job is going to be great because I get to help people. And that's just something that I've been thinking about the last couple weeks, in all honesty. And so that brings me to my next point with cutting hair. Now, a lot of people are going to say that when you look on Google for how much you can make as like either a hairdresser, a barber. I want to go for barber because that's really what my interest is in. You're going to find that they say that barbers make between $20,000 and $30,000. $30,000 being the high end. But I recently watched a video of a guy that's been a barber for roughly 6 years, and he explained that because it's a mostly cash business, it's hard for them to track what you're actually making. So that brings me to my next point. With that type of job, it's a trade job, right? That gets me a little bit more excited because it's not your average career path. Although there's quite a lot of people that do it. There's like a set of maybe less than 10 career paths that people choose that are just your very basic career paths. And I feel like being a barber would fit my lifestyle. Aside from being passionate about hair already and really enjoying it, I feel like it's going to fit my lifestyle because I enjoy, like, I've always felt inside of me that I need to be the head of my show, right? I need to be the owner of myself and not be working under people, because I thrive so much more when I'm on my own and I'm making my own decisions and making my own ideas. And I just, up until this point, I haven't really known what that was, what avenue I was going to take to be the owner of my own place or job, whatever the case may be. So it really kind of piqued my interest. Not to mention my wife is going to school for to do nail and skin care and stuff like that. And I know in her position, just the same as mine, there's a lot of people doing it. And there's a lot of people that have a hold on like the nail market and doing stuff like that. I think you understand what I'm saying. So with that being said, we're both really going to need to create our own avenue and have our own business. So, if she's doing that, if she's doing nail and skin and I'm doing hair, we can combine that, right? So that's my idea. That's my ultimate idea. And we get along very well to where we can own the business together and run the business together, and we can still have an awesome marriage because we're that kind of people that when we initially started dating, we were around each other 24/7. And we really haven't been apart since then, and things are great. We recently got married in September. So that's kind of my idea of thinking. I definitely want to hear comments. Like if you're a barber, or you're into that job market or whatever, definitely give me your 2 cents on what you think. Also, if you're an OT, let me know what you think as well. Maybe there's something that I'm missing, or maybe you can make me feel a little bit differently about how much debt I'm going to incur. So that would be great, because I don't have a ton of advisors around me that are telling me this stuff. The only thing I could do is maybe go to my graduate school and ask them and kind of pick their brain about that. Of course, they're going to want me to go there because they're going to make money. But my goal, my ultimate goal in life over the next 15 years is to get debt free. And along the way, there's going to be smaller debts that I have, such as credit card debt that are almost paid off, that are going to just slowly start going away. The biggest one is going to be my house. My house is the biggest one. It's a 30-year mortgage, of course, but I'd like to get that paid off sooner. Because what happens, what I've noticed is you get into a career where you're making extensively more money than what you're currently making. However, the more money you make, the more debt you seem to go in, right? Because you're able to take out more loans, you're able to afford more things, you just keep growing and growing. But really, if you think about it, you're on the same level that you were before. It's a different level of money, but it's pretty parallel as far as the percentage of debt that you have. So my goal is not to become a millionaire necessarily. Yes, I enjoy money, but my goal is to become more debt-free so that I have more of my money that I can use for other things, such as, putting away for savings, putting away for future kids, vacations, stuff like that. And I think that, with what I'm currently making, I'm actually pretty comfortable, which is awesome, because I'm not making a ton of money, but I do know that I could definitely make the same amount of money, if not a little bit more, cutting hair, be in less debt, and be even closer to paying off all my debts. Whereas if I go to school for OT, not only is it going to take me 5 more years of my life, but I'm also going to be almost $100,000 in debt when I come out. And I feel like that is way more upside down than going to barber school for a 30-week period. Not saying I'm going to come out making the money I'm making now, but I'm going to be able to build that up and build that clientele. And based on what I'm currently doing, I know that I can get that rapport with customers and get that rapport with clients to to where they would want to come back. So that's kind of my thinking. I'm really just kind of spilling my guts to the internet at the moment. But if you guys have any 2 cents about this, please let me know, because I would really like to hear it. I'm kind of in the dark with this. But I'm kind of doing my research here and there. The good thing is, I was planning to go back to school in September anyways, for OT, because that's when my next semester is. But that's also the same time that barbering school starts. So it's really, I have a little bit to really figure this out and really solidify if this is what I want to do. But again, my ultimate goal is just to become debt-free and make a good chunk of change so that I can, sorry, my nose is stuffy. Make a good chunk of change so that I can, provide for my family and do nice things, and ultimately save up for the future. So yeah, any 2 cents you guys may have, please leave comments or message me. I don't know if you can do that on YouTube, but yeah, I appreciate anybody who decides to watch this video. Sorry it's kind of long. It was 14 and a half minutes, but yeah, thanks again. See you next time.